be starting with a very quick recap of the whole economics. Of course, it will not be as quick like in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll try to keep it, okay, as short as possible. So, coming directly to the point, first thing, the first topic is demand. Demand is what? Basically, as my this is my quantity and this is my price. Always remember that as my price increases, my quantity demanded decreases. So it's a downward sloping demand curve. So what is the definition? As my price increases, my quantity demanded decreasing. It's a linear curve which is downward sloping demand curve. Now we had something called different types of goods, right? We had complementary good, we had so we will require the diagram of those goods as well, right? So one of the goods was inferior goods. That was related to income. So here you have your quantity and here you have your income. That as my income increases, initially the quantity increases up to a certain point, but then it goes back, right? The demand for it falls as rise in income. There was one this good, and then there were normal goods. Normal goods were as my income increases, my quantity demanded also increases. It's like this. This is my normal good. It increases. Then we have my inexpensive necessities, right? Those inexpensive necessities, they increase, but after a point they become like a straight line. Something like this. So you can have a straight line from one point of income because these are inexpensive, okay? They uh, increase, but then after they remain constant irrespective of the level of income. Whatever is the level of income, you go to one level, then they are fixed. So these were three kinds of goods. Then we had something called Giffen goods. Okay, that's not in the diagram. While I was explaining inferior goods, it's important to remember that Giffen goods, okay, and inferior goods are different things. Okay, all Giffen goods are inferior. All Giffen goods are inferior, but all inferior goods are not Giffen goods. Okay, so this is basically inferior is your outer circle, okay, and you have Giffen in it. Giffen is basically related to price. That यहाँ पे आपका जो law of demand है, it does not work. There is a positive relationship between price and quantity. That as my price increases, my quantity also increases. That we have explained and done. Just a revision ki that's a exception. Whenever there is an exception to demand, it goes straight. It's positively related, not negatively related. Then what else we had? Okay, now demand for substitutes goods. Now substitute good, what happens? Now if they substitute good, here you will be writing my quantity and here you will be writing the price of the other good. Price of other good, okay? So remember, you are writing price of other good here, you are writing the quantity of my good. So as the price of other good increases, my demand will increase for substitute good. So for substitute good, but for complementary it will fall, okay? Then we have exceptions. Okay, then there's something called demand function. If you remember, demand function is a function of all the variables. You need to write like this. Demand is a function of my price of other goods, taste and preferences, income, government expenditure, like this. Then you have assumption. Then you have something called ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means other things constant. Then there was individual demand schedule, and from that you have your market demand. This is your individual demand, and your market demand is going to be steeper or flatter given the demand of other goods, right? So this is basically what, like, I'm not writing everything over here because this is a very fast and quick explanation. So quantity here, price here, okay, this is my price and here we have my quantity. So this is an horizontal summation. Remember, it's the quantity is being added, not the price. So this was individual demand and market demand. Then you break the price effect into you break the price effect into what? The total demand effect, that is the price effect, is broken into income effect plus substitution effect. What is income effect? Income effect is the effect of change in real income, that is the purchasing power because of change in the price, and this is effect on price for other goods. Like if my price is increasing, this is 10. Now if my price has fallen down to 9, so as compared to other goods, my good is cheaper, that is substitution effect. Now income effect is, now instead of spending 10 rupees, I can spend 9 rupees. I'm saving some money. I feel like my income is more, so that is income effect. So that's also done. Then given goods has been talked about. We have talked about the positive side of the demand, that is exception to the law of demand. Then we'll do a basic contraction and expansion and shift. So this is again my demand curve. So if this is my point, okay, and if my demand falls, right, my price falls, so my demand is increasing, so this is what? This is an expansion, and if it goes back, it is a contraction. Okay, same way में you will be having supply chapter का, so I'm not discussing supply chapter का anything, but this is same kind of a concept. जैसे यहाँ पे उल्टा हो जाएगा. Supposedly if it was supply is an upward sloping curve, correct? So in when there is an expansion, I'll be going ऊपर, and my contraction I'll be going नीचे, right? So this is my expansion and this is my contraction. I'm going back, my quantity is reducing, and यहाँ पे what is happening, it is because of my own price. Very much important. And whenever there is a shift of demand curve, that is not because of my own price, it is because of other things. So there is a shift because of some other factor, there is an increase in my demand, so I'm going to this side, and if it is a decrease, I'm going to the left hand side. So this is basic revision of the first chapter.